A lot of you are here because you want to learn about business and entrepreneurship, and we get that. But I want to give you kind of like the future of money and where I think it's going to be and where it's going to go, right? So what is DeFi? So DeFi stands for decentralized finance, okay? So what is decentralized finance? Decentralized finance is, most of you right now, when you put money in the bank, what percent return do you get? So there are lots of these different protocols. All these different protocols are a way for you to monetize faster, right? And what happens is you get a higher return, but it's risky, right? Because when something is decentralized, it's not owned to any platform. So this is why you have to balance it. You can't, it's also risky having money in the bank. Do you know the money in your bank is only like insured up to 85,000? So if you have £1 million in the bank and something goes wrong tomorrow, what's gonna happen? Like, you're gonna lose all your money and you're gonna have just 85,000 left. And that's what's insured. So this is why we need to start thinking about other asset classes. This is why I always put money into real estate, right? I built a multi-million pound property portfolio, and over the last 20 years, I've gained a lot of equity in there. So the equity goes up, and then I rent my properties out, and the property mortgage goes down, right? And that's how I monetize. Next one is tokenization. Okay, this one is a little bit advanced. What is tokenization? In very simple terms, it's nothing more than a point system. When you are on American Express and you go and book a flight, and let's say, I want to fly from London to New York, and I put in the flight, and especially I go to like British Airways, and then I type it in, and then it says, would you like to pay £2,000 or would you like to use points? Right? So then I can click on points and then it deducts my points. That's what's known as tokenomics, right? In very simple terms. What does that mean then? That means that every single thing that you sell, you can actually charge fiat for it, so US dollars, but then you can also charge a token price, right? A token price. So it's that specific token price that when you purchase it, it can go up and it can go down. Now, again, you have to be very careful with this, right? And by the way, I just want to give a disclaimer on here, okay? Everything I teach on this training, everything any one of our speakers teach on this training is for educational purposes only. What you choose to do with that information is up to you. And before you do anything, you should consult a professional. Because I don't want you to go, oh, but John, you told me to invest in this, or John, you told me to do this. No, it's for educational purposes only. Results are not typical, right? Because I've had 20 years of experience doing this. I've made a lot of mistakes, but also I want you to really pay close attention to how you are doing things. Because for me, tokenization, for example, there's a company called Built. And you know what they do? When they rent property, they rent for dollars, but they're getting paid tokens. So let's say right now you pay dollars or pounds for rent, right? But imagine if you were to pay $1,000 for rent, but then you get 1,000 points back, right? So $1,000, you get 1,000 points back. And now you've got 1,000 points, you can now go and redeem it for water, for goods, for items. So now it's being deducted because you're already paying for it anyway. So why not get points back? So when I say the word tokenomics, what I really mean is your company, when you sell things, when they buy it from you, they're collecting points. This is the future money I see coming. It's already happening. Have you been to Starbucks recently? Have you noticed Starbucks is cashless? Have you noticed Starbucks doesn't accept cash anymore? Right? Why? Because they're setting up the state, they're setting up the plane to be able to tokenize. Listen closely. What's the difference between a point and a token? So when you get rewards points, do the points go up in value? Yes or no? No, they don't. So for example, if I go to my Emirates, I'm a platinum member in Emirates. And for example, this hotel I'm staying in right now, I'm in a suite right now, okay? And so when I stay in this suite, what happens is I'm a member of Marriott Bonvoy, okay? Which is like, it's the whole group. And every time I fly around there, that's where I stay. So I always get upgraded and things. But the problem is if I don't use those points disappear. and they don't go up in value, right? But again, we're talking about future money. Let's say you have 200,000 Bitcoin right now. And let's say you had 200,000 Bitcoin 10 years ago. Would you be very happy now? Yes or no? Yes. So that's the difference, my friends. That's the difference, right? The difference is a point is stale. A token can rise and fall. A point can go stay still, but a token can go pew, pew, like this. That's why you really need to learn this stuff first. Next point, we talk about Web3 ownership. Web3 ownership. What if I told you that you can create your own app, or you could create your own metaverse or universe? Web3 is an evolution of Web2. So what's the difference? So you heard of the metaverse, right? But whenever we're talking about creating worlds, how you make money is by creating digital real estate, right? So what's happening in the Web3 world right now? So I was just with a friend of mine, and she's in TV and film, right? So I was telling her, do you know the Web2 world is where you would go online and buy something physical, like, if I buy some trainers. But how many of you heard of a company called Steppen? My friend told me they make $5 million a day. And guess what? They don't sell real sneakers. They sell digital sneakers. Let me say that again. There's a difference between Web 2, Web 3. Web 2, I'm going to buy real sneakers and I can wear them. Whereas Web 3 is the same concept, but Web 3 now, I can take these sneakers, which are digital, and how do I wear them? When I walk, I turn them on. And when I walk, I turn them on, so now I'm wearing them. The more I walk, the more I get paid. This concept is called move to earn. Let me say that again. Move to earn. This is where tokenomics comes into play. Why would people buy digital trainers? Because it's the same, like, I don't know if any of you got kids. Your kids play games. Your kids play, Fortnite, they play, all these funny games, right? But in the digital world, what do? They start buying things, right? In the digital world, they start buying, Spider-Man costumes in there that, they can change the weapons from like a shield to a sword and things like that, right? But the whole idea of this is that when we're creating something, again, future money, this is how kids are making money right now. Kids now are getting paid money to play games. How many heard of something called Twitch? Twitch.tv. If you have kids that play games, do you know what you can do? You go to twitch.tv and you basically link it to their Xbox or PlayStation, and when they play, they get paid to play the game. Powerful, yes or no? Because why? That's called not a move to earn, it's called a watch to earn. So I invested in this company. This platform is called WeAre8. What does it do? It allows you to get paid to watch ads and content. Because why? We love that people are spending so much time online consuming content, right? Why don't you just get paid for it? That for me was the biggest aha moment. I'm like, oh my God, like if more people just downloaded the right app with the right Web3 play and the right tokenomics, they can get paid for doing nothing other than consuming.